Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to PWD Allies podcast. My name is Brent Frain. I'm the host. Joining me today is Neil Matheson from Surrey, British Columbia. Hello, Neil.
Hello.
And also joining me today is two guests, two of my panelists that are joining me today. Patrick Hebert.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, Patrick?
Good. How are you, Brent?
Oh, very good. Thank you. And also Joseph Vander Meer is joining me also. How are you doing, Joseph?
Hello. If I was any better, there would be two of me, and that would be bad news for everybody else.
Well, is it this side or is it that side that's better?
Ah, this side, of course.
The left side or the right side? Yeah. Well, it's a great pleasure to having everybody joining on today, and we're going to talk about Christmas memories. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
It's
mean, just so everybody's aware, this is actually going to be officially the last show of the year
mhm,
before the new year,
Hmm.
and so the theme of the show is Christmas memories. But for this show, we're going to focus on the disability community at large
mhm,
and all of the panelists, the PWD Allies panelists that have been on the show. Like on our previous show, we talked about all the special guests we've had, like Rob Shaw and all the politicians and all that.
mhm,
But on this show, we're going to focus primarily just on all of the PWD Allies panelists that have come on.
mhm.
And this year we did a little bit different. We either had usually one panelist on or maybe two panelists on rather than a whole. We used like last year we had a whole like six
Yeah,
or eight people. And it was a lot, right? And
Yeah.
so
yeah.
so this year we kind of uh, scaled it down so that more people would have an opportunity to talk and make the focus on one or two people, and it kind of made it more manageable. But then when I was going through the shows this year, I realized there's two people that didn't get on the show this year, and it was Joseph and Patrick. So
Oh,
this
great.
show is to rectify that mistake
Hmm.
of mine that I didn't get both of you on. So
And
I'm
just so everybody is clear that may be new to the show, I am not disabled. I am one of those PWD allies. I am an
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
ally of the disabled, and I'm a panelist that has been around since the beginning of this show. I believe
Mhm.
Right.
I can't remember what episode it was. It was like one, two, three. It was something very near the beginning.
Yes.
Hmm.
Um, but
Well, plus there was also the Twitter Spaces in
Yes.
2022.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't even YouTube back then. It was just
yeah.
No.
Twitter Spaces. And
Yeah.
Uh,
man, the battles we used to have
oh my.
trying to stay online was the best. This
Oh
was
yeah.
like before Musk and all the fun parts.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But,
Back when it
you
was
know.
really Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just before we get into, because I did want to highlight all of some of the big shows that we had with the panelists, but just before we get into that, I wanted to spend some time, like maybe Joseph, you can go first of what you've been up to, because we haven't seen you in basically a year. So what have you been up to in the
Yeah.
last year or so?
Well, for anybody who doesn't really know me, I'm a staffing specialist based close to Toronto, Ontario. I work in the film and television industry, setting people up with employment opportunities in a entry level position.
Hmm.
Now, the entry level, I'm sorry, I look like this because I'm still sick and I'm holding my chest as I'm talking.
That's
Um,
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
but I've been getting over a cold for 4 days. The problem is, and the reason why I'm a big ally is that the job that I actually send people to, a lot of the times you really can't send somebody who may have a visual impairment or hearing impairment or um, some other kind of impairment because of the way that our job is set up, where it's a random place, random time, random location, random production.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's not like you're going to a factory where you can have certain accessibility standards set up so that way you can do the same job every day.
Mhm.
It's not
Okay.
possible. And so I deal with hundreds of people every single year, setting them up with this kind of stuff. And in the meantime, I also have to deal with the wrath of people when they don't go to work
Oh,
Right.
and
Hmm.
people that are not able to earn a living, people that need to pay their rent, people that need to buy groceries, people that need to help their kids. right? So
Hmm.
on the flip side, as much as opportunities I can hand them out, there's other people that I can't give it to, and I feel so bad for them.
Mm.
And that's the whole reason why we have social services is to sustain the people who cannot get that job.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go on a tirade. You guys know me. I'm a very big supporter of basic income,
Mhm.
um, of you know, the Canada Disability Benefit was a joke. It
Well,
really
you also
was.
had, yeah,
Yeah.
you also had the website for the Canada Disability Benefit too. You were
Hmm.
very
I
involved with
I was
that.
running DERB, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
DERB.ca.
Derb, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was I tried to get Patricia to help me out with it quite a bit.
Hmm.
But after the Canada Disability Benefit became law, that project pretty much died out at that
Mm.
point, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now the money is starting to flow to people. I don't even know if you guys even got it,
Or
because, like you said,
I
I've been
didn't get
off for a
any.
year. I've
Yeah.
been off for a year, so I
Zero.
haven't even
Yeah.
spoken.
I got zero.
Zero.
Oh
What?
man,
Zero.
Zero.
No.
Zero.
that's
Yeah.
Yep.
wrong. That's so
Why?
wrong.
Well,
Based on household income
it's
here.
based
So
on household income, so I got disqualified because it's based on household.
yeah.
It's not based on individual income. If it was based on individual income, I would have got it, but because it's based on household, I
Yeah.
got disqualified. Same
It's a
with Brent.
it's just they have they have a gateway on it set. So I mean, to get rid of that DTC requirement, it should just go automatically go to everybody on provincial and territory benefits who are
I
already on
have the DTC, but I
this.
still got disqualified because
Mm.
I earned too much based on household
It
income.
should be based on the individual
Oh man.
and
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
I
wrong.
screwed it up. Yeah.
yeah.
You
Anyway,
know,
let's turn to you now, Patrick. What do you? Well, I know you've had you had that operation. You
Hmm.
had your eye operation a little while
Yeah,
ago. Maybe you
Yeah.
want to talk about that and what you've been up to. And you
yeah.
also have
Well,
your own channel. So you can talk about that.
sure. Well, I spent the year, I think it was around this time last year, I started my own little channel, it's just an experiment to see if I could track my registered disability savings plan investment portfolio
Hmm.
and kind of share my journey to, like I say, I'm trying to grow it to $1 million, but who knows where I'll end up.
If I had
Um,
dollars, I'd be rich.
if I had $1 million, yeah, I'm at 165 right now, so that's not bad.
That's pretty
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
And I started last year at 106, so it's been a good year, but it's not without its white knuckle moments.
Yeah.
When Trump came and decided to tariff the world on Liberation Day, my portfolio dropped to around $69,000. So it's been a white knuckle ride. And every day that there's a trading day, I come on and I give an update about what I did that day, whether it was doing something or doing nothing, which is actually harder to do nothing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and like I'm so sorry to hear you guys didn't get the disability benefit because I'm using that to pay off debt and
I
to
would
be
love
able
to pay
to
off debt. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's bullshit, pardon me, that you're
Yeah.
not getting it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it just seems so wrong. Like I think if you qualify for provincial, you should qualify for DTC and
Yeah.
Exactly.
vice versa.
Yeah.
Mind you, there are people that work that have disability tax credit. So I guess, there's exceptions, but
Yeah.
it just seems so wrong that it's got to be so many gates put up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Pat,
Yeah.
it's like the BC government. They ran with that in the for when we had the election last year. The government ran with it in their platform of the Canada Disability Benefit, and I guess they figured that the federal government was going to do the right thing and make sure it went to every single disabled person.
mm,
That or on assistance. Unfortunately, that didn't materialize.
oh,
The federal government just watered it down and kept all the gateways, all the restrictions in place.
yep.
And it's more of a splashy announcement. But look what we're doing. We're doing more progress. And they mentioned it in the federal budget this year. They
Hmm.
mentioned Canadians with disabilities,
Hmm.
but they'd say, well, how are we going to get it out to everybody that we promised, right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's unfortunately that they didn't take away the restrictions. And I mean,
Yeah.
again, like we were just mentioning, in my view, anybody's on provincial or territorial disability in Canada, provincial programs or territorial programs that do have it, they should
Yep.
Hmm.
automatically get that. I mean, you're disabled in Canada, you should
Yep.
automatically get that program. Like it's there,
Yeah.
I mean, it should be based on the person, not the whole family. That's the other problem.
No, exactly. I mean, disability doesn't go away because your
No.
household makes money.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just wrong.
Disability's still there.
Common sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're gonna pay it back in taxes if your household's making money anyway. So it's not
Yeah.
like it's,
The
you
government's
know,
only trying to ensure that people that are disabled, um, that are incapable of taking care of themselves are still reliant on other people instead of the government.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
They should not be putting the onus on the families for that.
Yeah.
They should not be putting the onus on spouses and
Mhm.
on caregivers
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
pick up the government's slack while we can afford to pay millions of dollars to consultants and
yeah.
Yeah.
give $2 million to Doug Ford's the dentist and
Oh man,
stuff like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't respect autonomy, right? That's
no, it doesn't.
what I
No,
have a problem
exactly.
with. You know
That
what?
in itself
Yeah.
reflects at the ballot box. And
Yeah,
they
Right.
need to learn that as our population
Yeah.
grows and gets older and baby boomers get older, the
Yeah.
yeah,
voices in our votes are going to get louder
yeah,
based on age and based
Mhm.
on misrepresentation by
yeah,
government.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if you think that the way that we're going with de-emigrating and
mm,
kicking out all the immigrants and the students, that's
Yeah.
going to drive our population up
mm,
based on disability and based on age.
yeah,
Right.
As
yeah,
we kick out all the students that are immigrants
Mhm.
and tell them they're not allowed to stay for post-secondary jobs like they've been
Right.
doing,
Yeah.
we're going to increase our population's age and increase the
Yeah.
amount of people that are disabled
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
based
true.
on a percentage.
That's
And
true.
yeah.
then maybe they will learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then we're gonna have a snapback sort of situation like we had during the pandemic, right? Where, oh shit, we need lots of people in. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
I
It'll be an
think it could be worse.
overcorrection again. Yeah.
No,
It's
I
like a
think it could
yo-yo
be.
thing.
It
Yeah.
all depends on what they're going to do with the NDP. Jagmeet
Mm,
Singh's gone,
yeah,
and until they elect a new federal leader,
Mhm.
they don't have anybody to rally behind.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
if they elect a good federal
Okay.
leader, you could see a very big swing at the ballot box if the population demographic changes in the favor of people that are disabled,
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
especially with like the junk that uh and I know I'm starting to rant. I'm sorry. I guess this is after not being here for a year. Uh
That's okay.
Saved it up.
I
Yeah.
I I think the junk that the Alberta is doing by clawing back the
Oh,
benefits
that's
Oh,
Yeah.
at the same time as not raising minimum wage again,
mhm,
Yeah.
the same as not raising social services.
Mhm.
Alberta is just going to show if you have low income, get the fuck out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that
yeah,
in itself will change its voting demographic as well.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And the conservatives could very much lose out there if
Yeah.
and
they're not careful.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
if you have enough of a demographic that is no longer young
Mhm.
Canadians working in Alberta
Yeah.
after they finish going to school, and it's now turned to angry people
Mhm.
who
mhm,
don't make enough, and you get too many people that are on um, either unemployment or minimum wage out in Alberta that are not getting increases, you could very well see a government change very quickly.
oh,
Hmm.
Oh yeah, exactly. It'd be a whole ripple effect. I mean, it's not just the person that is working at minimum wage or on income assistance or on disability assistance. Yeah, I mean, it's their
And
families,
it
caregivers.
doesn't matter if you make $1 million a year or you make $10,000 a year. Your
Exactly.
vote is still counted 1 to 1.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
They better be careful because you could see the entire disabled community
Mhm.
revolt against the
Yeah.
government, and that could dethrone them.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you know,
considering we're,
what, Joseph?
yeah.
I realized instead of calling this Christmas Memories, I should have called it Christmas Rant.
Christmas rent, remember Christmas rent.
Christmas Rant.
But
You
here's
know
another.
what?
Go ahead.
I wanted to because again this episode is all about the disability community and all to celebrate our PWD allies, and as you said, Joseph, you aren't disabled but you are an ally. So I wanted to run through some of the episodes we had this year.
Mm.
And again, we ran some of the ones that were just solo efforts, and some of them were paired up. Like on one of the first episodes we had that were paired up was Tom Poxon and Jeff Leggett were on on January 27th. We had them on for God versus Government, and that was a really interesting episode.
That was really
And
good.
then we had Dan Trays on to talk about the reelection of Doug Ford, and that's going to
Oh,
cause that's going to cause Joseph to rant again.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Rant number two.
And that was on February 28th. We had Dan on, and then on the March 14 we had Ellen Davies on to talk about cerebral palsy. That was
Yeah.
the brain numb baby episode.
Oh, that was really good.
And then we had Tom Poxon on again to talk about IBS.
Oh yes.
Which podcast do you know that that are gonna talk about irritable bowel syndrome?
Oh yeah.
Only us.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm sitting on a wooden chair right now, so if my
Oh, no.
IBS works up, you're gonna know about it.
so that was a good show.
Yeah.
That was a
Listen,
good
you
show.
know, sometimes you just got to be held up on a subject, okay?
Oh yeah.
That's right. And then we had Peter Cunnington. He was on for a couple shows this year. He was talking about autism. That was really good to have him on
I
for a
missed
couple
that
shows. We had Minnie St. Clair on April 11th to talk about ODSP.
Yeah.
And as I'm going through these, we'll just flash up the
Yeah.
thumbnails.
Sure.
And I remember Minnie was like, she looked at my thumbnail and she says, "Why do you have a naked man pushing a boulder up a hill?"
Oh.
That was on her thumbnail, and I said, "Well, it's to make it sexy."
Yeah.
And but I remember she's like, "What do you have a naked man pushing a boulder up a hill?" So that's on her thumbnail. I thought
Advocacy is sexy.
advocacy
Yeah.
is supposed to be sexy, so that's
Yeah.
what that But then we had MJ Phillips and Dan Trays on again. We had them on back to back on when we had the federal election. They were on April 25th, and then again on April 29th. It was the before and after the election.
Yeah.
And I always really appreciate MJ's takes. He's so well spoken.
Oh,
and
yes.
he's very good
Very
with his
passionate.
political takes. He's very passionate. Yes. So I really like when he comes on. So he was on for 2 shows this year, and I actually included Eric Doherty
Oh yes.
in the list as well. I
Transportation.
mean, he's not on that much, but when he does come on, he's cool because he's all about transportation, which I know that you're very passionate about that subject.
Yeah, different modes of transportation that
yeah.
this is on. Yeah, accessibility for sure.
Yeah, and then we had the other MJ,
Oh, yeah.
the female version MJ on.
Yeah, there's 2 MJs.
There's 2
Okay.
MJs. There's the male version and the female version. We had MJ on the female version, and she was talking about raising the shelter allowance. That was on September 19th.
Yes, very important topic.
And then we had Cassandra on for 3 episodes this year, and it was all about the Alberta and them clawing back.
Yeah,
And
the despicable clawbacks.
Yeah.
yeah.
Really benefit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and then I wanted to say as well, besides our regular PWD Allies panelists, we also had a couple of really cool referrals this year. One was Susan Abels,
Oh yes.
and that was from Tom Poxon. So that was a really, because I mean that was all about basic income.
Yeah.
So something
Great topic.
that you'd appreciate, Joseph. We had her on. That was July 4th, and
Yeah.
again we'll put up the thumbnails for these, and then the other referral we had was from Minnie, and it was Allison Hayes, and
Oh, yeah.
Allison Hayes is the author who has the series of books called Thriving While Disabled.
That was a
And
great
we-
show.
And we had her on August 5th talking about structural ableism. So that's all of the shows that so you can see there's a really good cross section, and like I said, we tried to bring everybody on, but as I said at the beginning of the show, the two people that didn't get on were the two of you,
Yeah.
Patrick
Um,
and
you know
Joseph. So
what? I haven't been on in a year, so I haven't been able to tell you guys this. But there was one thing I tried to do this year that I didn't try before. I'm how do I put this? I'm writing a book.
Hmm.
oh, cool.
Oh, nice, nice.
I'm on chapter 5
Oh, wow.
right now
Okay.
of writing it. And yes, it is a basic income book for Canada.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
interviews, it's
oh, interesting.
statistics, it's got a section on there of um, AI generated projections of what
Mhm.
each one would do.
Hmm.
So I've been working with going over the SPSM, DM data and stuff like that, and trying to piece together what would a basic income look like in Canada if we had started back in 2018,
Mhm.
Okay.
2020,
Ah,
right during
interesting.
COVID, that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
then
Right.
working my way forward. So I'm trying to write a book.
Hmm.
I tried to do a podcast, and I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to do the
Yeah,
editing and to
It's a
do
lot of
the,
work. It's a
you,
lot of
you
it
work.
know,
is.
so for me, it's I'm sitting here at work, I'm doing my thing. I have another binder on the side. And as
Mhm.
I have a break and I have some time, I write and then I write and then I
Yeah.
Hmm.
write. So yes, I am piecing together a book that maybe might be done by next year.
Oh, wow.
That's
Um,
cool.
Right on.
and um, and I'll put it forth before publishers. And if the publisher doesn't want to pick it up, then I'll republish it myself.
Yeah, I self-published my book too, so.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
and we had some other lovely guests too that we must recognize this year, like memories. We
but
had
I'm going to go back. I wrote down some of those shows you were talking about, Neil. There's some of them I actually want to go back and watch.
yeah,
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Well, what I was going to do is all the shows that I've mentioned, I'm going to actually put links to every single of the shows that we just mentioned. I'll put links to all of them down in the description.
Right
So
on.
okay.
so after this one is posted, and again we're going to
Well, if it's the
post
last show of the year, why not post a link of all the shows that you've done this year in the
all,
description?
that's all that would be
well,
250 shows actually with 253.
You could put a
253 shows this year?
Well, not this year. Total
No,
in
no, I
three
mean
in
this
three
year.
years.
this year,
This year's shows.
This year's it's
Could you
been
put this year's shows in the
it'll be
credits and the
88.
'88.
This is the
wow.
88th show, and we always talk about the going back in the DeLorean going 88 miles an hour.
You're
So
gonna see the
we hit
serial.
88 this year.
You
You're
mean
gonna
I
see
So
missed
the
I missed show 69 this year? I got it last
I
year. I missed it
know.
this year.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
We gotta keep that 69 reserved for you,
Next time.
Joseph. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to let me know
Yeah.
when your 69 show of
Yeah.
2026 is.
Yeah. But you know, there was one show that really stood out to me this year, and I was just so thrilled because Neil and I thought, well, this would be a dream to get to this one gentleman on, and he does a political podcast in Victoria and in the capital region where I
Wow.
live. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be something? And Neil threw a message out, would you like to come on? He
That
said,
was
sure,
Rob Shaw, yeah.
Rob
Hmm.
Shaw. And that was
But we can talk about that on that'll be on our that's the other part one. That'll be
the other part,
the
but yeah,
12 days of podcast guests, or what we're
yeah.
going to call that. And so Rob Shaw will feature on that episode.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
lovely show we had, and
Yeah.
he mentioned advocacy is sexy, and,
Yeah.
and, and
Well,
you,
I was telling him that like I want advocacy to be sexy, and like I think the biggest thing that I improved this year, it's everything's always about improving little things, right?
Yep.
When you talk about YouTube, and the biggest thing I think I've improved this year is I really focused a lot on my thumbnails.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, it's
And
really
trying to
good.
make more
But
the thumbnails more clickable and like I said more sexy and
Yeah,
like
they
eye
generate your
catching.
traffic. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, make it
you
more
know,
attractive. People want to click on them, right? So
and
Right on.
I
one
really
thing
focused a
that
lot on the thumbnails this year.
one thing that I felt was really interesting on that one episode, Patrick and Joseph, is I was joking around with Rob, and I said, you know, since we haven't had you on before, Rob, and since you run your political capital podcast, I said, as a nice gesture, I said, "Why don't you do the outro for the show today?" He goes,
Yeah.
"Sure," and he did. And I said,
Yeah.
and basically exactly how he does his own podcast,
Yeah.
and he took out the show. I was
And
like,
again, that's going to feature in the
Nice.
the next one,
12 days of podcast guests. I'm going to
yeah,
feature that
Cool.
clip, and it was really fun because
it was fun.
he just took it and he closed out the show. It was great. I loved it. Yeah.
There's another one that we won't be featuring on the 12 days of the podcast one, but there is one future guest that I am working at trying to get on, and I actually might be appearing on his podcast in the near future.
Mm.
Mo Amir. Mo
Oh,
Amir.
really? Because I know
Yes.
last year you were trying
Yeah,
to get.
he had we were communicating back and forth,
Okay.
and he has
That'd be
his
cool.
editor producer, and he's
Yeah.
trying to squeeze in different guests, and he said, "I'd love to have you on." So I'm really hoping that I could be on
Yeah.
his show, and if not, he could come on our show.
Do you
Yeah.
not have local cable news in your
I-
area?
If we do,
You guys should be sending an email to your local
Mm.
community news along with a link of your YouTube channel and see if they
Yeah.
want to interview you.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, good
And
idea.
reach out and say, hey,
yeah,
2026 is approaching and we're
Yeah.
starting to reach out to other communities other than just our YouTube channel, you
oh
know?
yeah,
Mhm.
And
Hmm.
you never know.
Yeah.
A local news station may say, hey, let's do a 2 minute clip on the 6 o'clock news that drives
Yeah.
your traffic through the roof.
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's a good
Well,
You've
idea.
had how many MPs and officials be on your show?
I know.
You should
Oh yeah,
include that in the email.
Yeah,
That
I know.
how many that there or which officials and which book writers that have been on your show, that kind of stuff. That all
Mhm.
comes with a little bit of credibility. Brent, you have been trying. Brent, Neil, you guys have been trying for years to
yeah,
reach out to the
Yeah.
PWD community, and if it
Yeah.
was not for you,
mhm,
Yeah.
certain MPs would not have had certain ideas to
Yeah.
stand up in our legislature.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
I fully believe that this show
mhm,
was the reason why the NDP pushed so hard for the Canada Disability Benefit in the end.
mhm.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because it was the derb that really kind of caught people's attention, right?
yeah.
And we
Yeah.
have to say again,
There's the
the
word.
derb is what was birthed out of
Yeah,
was birthed out of your Twitter Spaces
it
in
was.
2022. It was an idea that was birthed out of
Yeah,
those shows on Twitter Spaces.
it
And
was.
Wow.
and that DERB, even though it did not materialize as an emergency benefit, it did push our
Oh, yeah.
political
Mhm.
parties
Yeah.
to change some of that language and make some amendments. I know
Yep.
that uh what's that MP's name? With the Green Party.
Oh, Mike,
Or NDP.
Mike Morris.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike Maurice.
Yeah.
Mike Maurice stood up in our legislature several times to talk about the same talking points that we did
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it hits home that
Oh,
these
yes.
small little podcasts that you think are insignificant can really drive policy change if the right person listens.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it does. And I mean, we actually just had Mike Morris on recently.
Yeah, no, it was really. He was on the December 5th. That's another
he's a
one
wonderful
you can
guy.
watch, Joseph.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
December 5th.
yeah,
What's
yeah,
cooking? It's called. What's cooking?
yeah,
Mike Morris. Yeah.
yeah. We've had him on, and we've had Eleanor Storko on. We'll be talking
Yeah.
about the 12 days of podcasts. And it was great having her on too. And Sonia and I bumped into Eleanor. We were actually in our legislature recently. We were there for a couple of sessions, checking out their question period and just having meetings at the legislature. And so we bumped into Eleanor actually down in their dining room. We were invited to come down to their dining room for lunch with one of the MLAs, which was wonderful. I thought, okay, this is great. So yeah, it was like, yeah, lunch was on them. So we came down, and Eleanor went by. She goes, hey, and she says, hey, you too. And so we got talking, and she said, I watch your podcast. I'm like, what? She goes, oh yeah, I watch it all the time. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I said, that's great. So yes, Joseph, you're right. I mean, people do watch the podcast, and the word gets around. Like, check out the podcast. And yeah, I mean, it's great. Word of mouth gets around.
Sometimes I wonder if you should have a different producer though, Brent, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll clone you. We'll clone you. We'll clone you. And
yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of work for one person, right? I mean,
yes,
it's a two-person podcast, but like the producing end of it is just so much to do.
yeah,
And
The labor
you
of
know,
love, Neil, the labor of
when we
love.
talk about the all of the PWD Allies we had on this year, we have to include you and me too, Brent,
yes,
and Sonia. So I actually
yeah,
wanted to do a shout out to Sonia first. She's been on a couple of shows this year. One
yeah,
of the shows that was cool was you had there was a thumbnail with a plate of potato chips.
yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
one? You were
I
talking about
remember
kind of
that.
the welfare diet. So
Mm.
we had a show all about potato chips
Hmm.
and water as dinner, and
Hmm.
we
Mm.
talked about the welfare diet, and Sonia was on for that, and she's been on for a couple other ones, like you were talking about your the rally you had in what was it? It was you did was it Ottawa this year?
Yeah,
At
we
the
were
beginning,
out in
you did
Ottawa
Ottawa, and
in
then
February.
you also did one rally in Victoria as well.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of episodes that I was really proud of that you and I just ran ourselves.
Hmm.
And one of them was the How to Be Happy, and it's a red thumbnail with the smiley face
Yeah.
that's turned upside down, or
Hmm.
actually it's actually a frowny face, sorry, that's turned upside down.
Yeah.
So that the frowning face is actually smiling.
Hmm.
And the reason I did that show is because I remember like during that week, or actually the whole month, there was so much kind of bad vibes on Twitter about people saying I just want to kill myself.
Oh,
Mm.
I want to take MAID because
yeah.
I have no money on PWD, and so there's all these so much negative thing about I just want to off myself. I don't want to kill myself, and it's like so that episode to me was my response and your
Mhm.
response as well, Brent, to all that negativity of like I just want to take MAID and kill myself.
Yeah,
And
well,
Mm.
and looking back, I'm glad you mentioned about Sonia being on some episodes this year, and talking about her diabetes and trying to eat healthy the best way she can on a, I call it a PWD diet. It's
yeah,
a legislated diet, poverty diet. And making the right food choices. It's very difficult on a fixed income, and
Yeah.
again, and that's why it kind of blends well with having basic income, right? Because
yeah,
and that's why we did episodes of basic income this year, and I mean, having real lived experience stories from people who know best, and we're just educating the like different allies that maybe are not aware of what's going on. Ones that are aware, then they already know about lived experience stories too, because they have family members in their life that are disabled, or maybe
Hmm.
they have just different disabilities that are not diagnosed, or or other PWD who have other family members in their household who are disabled, and the
hmm,
politicians educating them, of making them understand that their policies decision making is not, it's just not modernized, right?
yeah,
Mm.
It's either put a basic income in, or expand these services. In the meantime, make sure nobody's left behind. If you're
yeah.
going
Yeah.
to promise something, deliver it. Don't dwindle around for like many years and then say kick the can down the road,
Yeah,
because
it's
Mm.
not modernized on purpose though, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
yeah,
I wonder what politician in their right mind ever thinks that $375 is enough for rent.
yeah, I
They
yeah,
know.
yeah,
clearly believe that you are going to be relying on multiple programs to make that rent.
Right.
right,
And then they want to sit there and say that the multiple programs are going to disqualify the multiple programs, which is,
Yeah.
like, so they just need to realize that, hey, they believe that you're going to rely on something else. Well, how about stop relying on something else, rely on one thing
hmm,
Right.
and do it right, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
you'll lower the administrative cost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, exactly.
There's another show, Joseph, I'd love you to check out on our list. Jeff Leggett from Disability Action of Canada. We recently had him on. And it was which episode? That was about the emergency one, wasn't it, Neil?
Yeah, it has an origami wheelchair on the an origami wheelchair
Yeah,
on the thumbnail.
Huh.
Okay.
that was a very interesting
Yeah, that was a fairly
episode.
recent one.
Yeah, you might want to check that one out. I think that might blow your mind, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Patrick, yeah, check that one out too,
Sure.
because
Yeah.
it was a very important announcement. I mean, I'll talk just briefly, kind of an overview of it. So in BC, the BC government had made some recent changes to the spousal cap, they call it, where if two people living in one household, they're roommates, a girlfriend, boyfriend, they're in a relationship or whatever, uh, the the old rule was that you're in a household, you're under one file, right? So some people had bonus where they weren't under one file; they were just two separate individuals. That's
Hmm.
how the caseworkers had deemed it at one time. But over time, new applicants who came on board under the system, they were under one file. Okay,
Okay.
so basically, the government felt, the NDP felt that was not right. Right? I mean, treat people with dignity and respect, and
Hmm.
treat them with give them proper autonomy to make the right decisions that are best for each individual people. Because I mean, if they're fleeing violence, domestic dispute, violence, or escaping a bad situation in their life, for whatever it may be, or maybe one person got very ill. Maybe they're in a in a hospital, or they're aging. As they age up, I mean, maybe they're in a care home. Right now, one person's now having to be there by themselves. Well, I mean, economically, financially, now they may be kind of trapped in that situation, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of dynamics when it comes to that. So anyway, the government said, let's make them eat separate. That way they can make those proper decisions by themselves. Um,
Well, and
but
I have to say to put an emphasis on it,
yeah,
they made a point of saying we're going to end the spousal cap. They made a
yep,
point of using those words.
yep.
We're going to end the spousal cap, but
Oh,
they really did not end the spousal
yep.
cap. It was
And
just a bunch of smoke and
and what
mirrors.
they did was they kept talking about, we're going to increase the support, and
Yeah,
that narrative, that talking point of it was. So what they did was, so two people, one file, right? And so, like, one person full check, one person full check. Okay, so when they're one file, what they did is was one full check plus a top up. Okay, so it was like $300 and something top up. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
yeah.
two full checks. So now they make two separate checks. However, what they did was made it sound that way, right? I mean, splashy announcement, two separate checks. No, 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 no. Two separate checks, yes, but we had a little top up. So now you basically get, what was it, 53.75, I think they said, that
Yeah.
one announcement per each person.
Yeah.
But here's the catch. Here's the caveat on that. So shelter rate in British Columbia went up from $375 up to $500 in 2023. Finally, it went to $500 for some. For some,
Yeah.
if your rent had gone up in market rent and you showed that your rent went up, you got it in market housing. Subsidized housing, they didn't get an increase. So now, what they did was, so instead of two separate files, $695 for two people. Okay, and that same household
For rent.
for rent instead of
Right.
$500 and $500. So
Were you supposed to rent for that?
solve it. They didn't solve that. They
Yeah,
didn't make it equal.
they kept the rent. They kept the rent totals the exact same.
Yeah.
They didn't up the rent at all. So,
So
so
695 to
they
7,000.
they were
So,
promising the way they rolled it out. Initially, they promised basically $500 each per person for rent, and really it's still $695 for two people combined. So the rent totals have not gone up,
yeah.
and so
It,
when they
in the
when they
words
when
of
they
Homeland, in the words
yeah
of the TV show Homeland,
Yeah.
yeah I know
wish in one hand, shit in the other, see what
Yeah.
fills up
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah
it was a splashy announcement. It's like what
yeah.
they did, and it just gives them an excuse of saying that they need to now fix something where they could have fixed it all at once.
So
And
they made it sound like they were going to end the disposal cap, but they really didn't.
yeah,
They really didn't.
and then the
So
earnings exemptions, they messed around with it, saying, well, one person in the household can make more on earnings exemptions and the other person not. And again, that's playing a disabled against disabled, have and have nots. But there
Yeah.
was another part that it was on that emergency episode. Well, it was a couple episodes we had Jeff on, but there was one on Global BC recently, Patrick and Joseph, that the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction in BC had a whistleblower. The whistleblower, a lady who was unnamed by from Global BC, wanted to stay anonymous, has and still is working for the government. Over
Yeah,
20 years.
she was a case manager,
Yeah,
case
and
worker for.
over 20 years,
Yeah.
and she just could not keep it silent any longer. And there's other whistleblowers too who haven't come forward in the government, but she spilled the beans. She said that there's no safety checks. They don't check on. Say you're going to go rent somewhere, they don't verify that that is a legitimate landlord.
Yeah.
You need a security deposit. No, they don't check on it. You could just say, yeah, I need a security deposit for, oh, I don't know, McDonald's.
Yeah,
You
so
give a McDonald's address.
unfortunately, this aired on our local news channel, and it basically gave the impression that it's rampant with cheating, like all these people
Uh,
with disabilities are cheating the
Millions of
system.
dollars.
Yeah, millions of dollars, when really it's probably just a very small handful of people that are cheating, and it's most likely it's the, like high level cheats, right? That are actually outside of even this, because even the Sheila Malcolmson,
Yeah,
our provincial minister here for disabilities, she even admitted, she says, it appears that the cheating is happening outside of the system. She even said that herself on
Yeah.
in an
yeah,
interview.
yeah. And
So
So
she said
yeah,
that
earlier
they
this
recouped
year,
$15 million. She said, I think
yeah,
maybe there might be a couple more zeros that need to be added on to the end of that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
earlier this year, I got into an argument with a city of Hamilton official. Um, it was in a parking lot. I was there talking with somebody, and this guy drops in on our conversation, and we're talking about welfare rates and about basic income, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking with this person about it, and all of a sudden, this guy jumps in, and he's like, "You know what? You don't really know what you're talking about. I work for the city, and I see everything. Do you know that there's actually people that get $300,000 out of welfare, and you're going to complain about
Oh
this and
wow.
that?" And
Oh,
I'm thinking to myself, really?
who
And
gets
then
three
it
hundred
clicks.
thousand?
It
Yeah.
clicks in my
Yeah.
head, right? There
mm-hmm.
was this one fraud case here in Ontario for Ontario Works,
Mhm.
where a family was frauding the system for about 300,000. I think almost nearly a decade of
Wow.
Wow.
fraud.
Wow.
And what it was a family was claiming multiple addresses and multiple checks for the same family.
Right.
Oh
And
my,
I looked at him in his little fit and fury, and
yeah.
I said to him, "Don't justify fraud as your excuse to freeze other people's rates."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. And basically when that news article came out, it basically made the disability community look terrible. Like
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
bad look, and it almost seemed like the government did it that way to justify their reasons why they don't want to raise the rates because they're. I mean, look, see, there's a
Yeah.
caseworker that says this that's going on, and there's too much fraud
Mm.
going on.
Mm.
Yeah.
But here again, like in BC here at least, like back in 93, 94, with Mike Harcourt,
Oh
he
yes.
tried to find fraud in the system, failed. He found there was no fraud. They investigated and they found there was no fraud, even though he claimed all
Yeah.
this fraud activity. And then again, Gordon Campbell here in BC as well in 2001, 2002,
Mm-hmm.
same thing. He said there was all this fraud going on,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
didn't find any instance of fraud, none.
Oh, it sounds a lot like our
Mike Harris,
version of
when
Doge
Harris was in.
to try and save $1 trillion, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was around the same time when Mike Harris was in Ontario. At the same
Mm.
time, Mike Harcourt was here, and it was like they were trying to find ways to, well, we need to cut the fat off the ministry. So let's just run with it and say people are they're frauding the system, and yeah, what did Mike Harcourt say? Cheats, varmints, and
Cheats, varmints, and deadbeats. Everybody on welfare is a cheat, varmint, and deadbeat.
like
Yeah.
wow,
And he said that in front of in front of televised news cameras. It was during the dinner hour.
Yeah, I
It was
remember that
it
one.
was during the dinner
Mm.
hour, with in front of televised news cameras. He said everybody on welfare is a cheat, varmint, and deadbeat.
I
Mm.
remember that. My
Yeah,
mom actually threw her shoe at the
yeah,
TV, and then she
yeah.
said, "She goes, his mouth needs to be washed out with soap." I'm like, "Say
Mm.
what?" And she turned the channel. She says, "Turn this filth off."
Mhm.
I'm like,
You know what I wanted to do now, Brent, is
yeah.
take the last 15 minutes or so, just because again we titled the episode Christmas Memories. So
Memories.
I wanted to talk about a little bit about that, but also before we do that, I wanted to do a shout out for the few people that are supporting the channel
Mhm.
through memberships, because
Yes. Yeah.
we actually have memberships on the channel, and there are currently right now there are 3 people that are giving us financial backing through memberships, and it's Shannon Hollingworth is one. There's the different levels of membership. There's the Timbit for
Memberships. What do you mean memberships? Through
I
YouTube?
have YouTube memberships now. So
Where?
there and
Where? Where?
there's
I'm doing this right now. I'm doing this right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's 4 levels. There's 4 levels, Joseph. There's the Timbit that's $2.99 a month, and there's the Apple Fritter that's $49.99 a month. There's the Double Double that's $12.99,
And double
and
double.
there's the Buble
The
reserved for
bootleg.
Michael Bublé, and that's $29.99 a month.
Mm.
So there's these 4 levels, and we have Hollingworth is doing the Apple Fritter level. So that's $4.99. And we have Brianna who we're going to talk about her. She was on an episode. We're going to talk about that on the 12 days of podcasts.
Okay.
She's supporting us with the 4.99 Apple Fritter. And
Nice.
then we have a relatively new member, Tracy Williams, is
Oh,
supporting us with the 2.99 Timbit.
That's
awesome.
nice.
And I also did want to do another shout out to Trisha.
Oh yes.
Hold up the mug again.
Oh yes.
Trisha is our super fan, and she came up with the mug.
She came out this one. So on this side of
Yeah.
the mug is a logo of a wheelchair for accessibility.
Mm.
Well, and we have to say that actually Birdie and myself, like
Yeah. The other side,
I'm not artistic.
Allies logo.
I am not artistic, but me and Birdie got together through text, and I said I have an idea for a mug, and so that was the idea in my head, and I'm not artistic, so
Yeah.
I relied
Yeah.
on Birdie to crawl inside my head and come up with that graphic because I
Yeah.
was explaining it,
And
and
these mugs are wonderful. Actually, they keep
yeah.
the beverage actually really hot.
And
For
so
whatever
anyway,
got in there.
so Trisha took that graphic that Birdie designed
And easy to grab onto here too.
and put it on a mug. And so I think next year we gotta have the mugs mass produced. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Cheers.
there might be a way to get them produced one-offs like as needed.
Yeah.
There's a company that does t-shirts that way,
Oh,
that like Rip Tees or something like that. I forget what they're called, but
okay.
you can set up a link on your store so that you just
Okay.
fulfill it as it's needed, so you don't have to
Oh,
have a
Well,
warehouse of those
I'll have to
things.
talk to you after the show, or we'll connect again and we'll talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
yeah,
There,
definitely.
I'm now a double member.
Oh wow!
Oh, oh
Thank
wow.
you, Joseph.
Come on, Joseph. Thank
Wow.
you.
So now
Wow.
you're number 4 on the. Actually, yeah, that's right.
You know, I
You're the
complained to
fourth
X.
official
I
member.
I complained to X. I even sent them emails in
Mm.
regards to the fact that I still can't donate the checkmark premium to your
Oh
X
yeah.
account.
Oh
I
yeah,
Oh,
have been bugging them, and they
Mm.
never got back to me. It's like they don't even want to fucking do gifts memberships.
No.
oh
oh
wow.
wow,
Like, what is up with X? Like, they
yeah,
used to want to take your money, now they just don't, or they do.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, they just changed premium again, by the way. I lost my Grok access
Oh,
Oh
because I'm
really?
not paying them. I'm not paying them $270 a
God.
month. So they took away my Grok.
Pardon me.
oh,
Wow,
oh my
that's
God.
Wow.
crazy. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Why
Yeah,
do you need to pay $270 a month to get access to Grok?
that's
Yeah.
nuts.
That's
No,
Yeah.
I'd rather
big
open
one.
AI for that price.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
I
kidding.
know.
I'm sorry. I'm going to open up my browser. I'm going to hit the little plus icon. I'm going to go chat GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
yeah.
It's not semi-Nazi in
Yeah, you know,
its
Yeah.
opinions on things.
I
But
mean,
here's the kicker, though. I only lost the grok on mobile, not on the computer.
yeah. Geez, I mean, I could just open up my phone and I can go like live on Gemini. Listen to this, and it's hello, Gemini.
Hello, I can hear you clearly.
You're
Hello.
on.
Chat about this.
You're on. You're live on PWD Allies podcast, by the way.
Surprise. What's the podcast focused on?
Christmas memories.
Christmas memories.
Mm.
And we're going to talk about that right now. So
That
let's
sounds
start with
fun.
Patrick.
Do you have
I
a
think
Christmas memory you'd like to share?
just you can hang up on him now, Brent.
Actually, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Instead, actually ask the AI what its opinion of our disability programs in Canada.
Yeah.
What's his opinion of what?
What is the AI's opinion of disability benefits in Canada this year
Oh,
and
okay.
its changes? Interesting, eh?
Hmm.
Try to get that answer in 100 words or less, Brent. Ask him to answer it in 100 words or less.
In a short summary, what
Short
is your
summary,
opinion
100
on
words or
change?
less.
This year, the Canada Disability Benefit saw significant developments, with applications opening in June and payments starting in July 2025. The government also introduced Budget 2025 proposals, including a one-time supplemental Canada Disability Benefit payment for eligible recipients and funding to lower barriers to access. These changes aim to enhance support systems.
AI, what's your opinion of enhancing it by clawing it back in Alberta?
The clawback concern relates to Alberta's approach to the Canada Disability Benefit and Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped program, or AISH. Advocates are concerned that the provincial government might reduce AISH payments to offset the federal benefit, meaning recipients wouldn't see an overall increase. The province states no one will receive less money. Is there a specific aspect of this you'd like to explore further?
Is there, Joseph?
That's kind of cryptic. It's kind of cryptic. It didn't
Yeah,
give us
it's
its opinion of it.
it's
It
an
only said,
apolitical answer.
What you mean by clawing it back? Are you referring to specific policy changes or concerns?
Yeah, I think we can hang up on it now, Brent.
Yeah.
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 Let's end the show. I wanted to end the show. Like the thumbnail is called Christmas Memories. So
Hold on, before we end,
Oh,
how
okay,
about we
okay.
get Patrick to say something else? Because I think he's been sitting there patiently
Well, that's
for a
that's
little
why I
while.
wanted to turn to Patrick and say, well, let's start with any closing comments you have, Patrick, and then we'll talk about the Christmas memories too.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, yeah, actually, you know what? It's kind of funny. One of the more active subscribers that I have for Disabled Investor is somebody who lives in Alberta under that system and has commented on the clawbacks for the disability benefit that's affecting their investment journey. It's very frustrating to hear, like
Yeah.
it's just wrong. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like I kind of pooped my pants when we thought we were going to become Americans because I don't know how we would survive with disability benefits when that happened, if that happened,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because I've heard how Americans deal with it, and Americans with disabilities are treated very poorly compared to the way we are. So I'm grateful to be a Canadian.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so to finish off the show, then talking about Christmas memories. Now, when I talk about Christmas memories, think back to even when you're a kid. What really special memory you have, or maybe there's a special toy that you got one year. You can talk about a cool toy that you got, or a real cool memory for Christmas. Anything that stands out to you, Patrick?
Oh, well, it's actually something I didn't get, and I was about 10 years old, and I at the time Sega had a game system called the Game Gear. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember that. It was a
I
portable,
do
it was
remember
a color game system. It was better than Game Boy, and the games looked cool. I really wanted one. I saved up my paper route money, and it still didn't have enough. So I asked Santa for one of those. And when I didn't get it, we went to family Christmas party, and someone had me on camera saying I didn't get a goddamn Game Gear. And 10-year-old all pissed off. But
Oh,
Uh, so
oh,
there. See, I should have called it a Christmas rant then. I
yeah,
should have called
yeah.
it the Christmas rant.
But the memory was the best memories of Christmas were always getting together with family and seeing my cousins. And I
Yeah,
have 21 cousins, so it was always a full house when we
oh,
get together.
yeah. No,
wow.
that's the same for me too. It was the gathering around the table, like sitting around the
Hmm.
table and enjoying the meal,
Mhm.
Yep.
and eating our, everybody had those stupid colored paper hats, from the
Yeah.
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
crackers,
And the
and
crackers. Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
Bang.
and so that to me, that's a real standout memory for me.
Mhm.
What about you, Joseph?
Um, my parents, one year, they worked really hard to save up their money. I grew up in a household where I had two older stepsisters plus my younger sister.
Mhm.
So I was kind of like the middle child, but also the only boy.
Yeah.
Um, so, and with my birthday is actually near the beginning of January, so we'd always
Oh,
celebrate
okay.
Christmas and my birthday at the same time.
Oh.
Nice.
So one year my parents saved up and they decided to buy my Christmas gift and my birthday gift at the same time, and they bought
Yeah.
me my very first computer.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
And
Yeah.
that memory in itself is not mostly about Christmas, but it was about how I was not a very well liked kid in school.
Mm.
Mm.
And so it actually opened up my opportunity to connect with the local neighborhood. I got into
Right.
bulletin
Oh.
board systems.
Oh, I
This
remember
is
those.
this is way
Yeah.
back before the internet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Me too.
So bulletin board systems, I hosted my own bulletin board system. And that, so if it wasn't for that Christmas, I wouldn't have had
Yeah.
that opportunity
Mm.
and start branching out in which I did. So I'm grateful
Yeah.
for that. And each
Mm.
Christmas, I think about all the families that are out there that aren't able to have that Christmas
Mm.
meal, that aren't able
Hmm.
to, have that gathering. And
Yeah.
as we as a society have less children and less family gatherings, we're really hurting our own cultural heritage at the
We
same
are.
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm.
And our connection to our other family members that, look, any given day, you can become disabled in a moment's notice. Car
Mm.
accident, fall off a roof,
Mhm.
Yeah.
getting shot, being beaten up in a line because somebody else
Yeah.
wants to get in front of you.
Mhm.
There could be any reason in the
Yeah.
world that you become disabled today or tomorrow. And
Just
if you're
getting
not
old.
willing, yeah,
Just
you're
getting
not
old
willing to
is yeah.
stand up for them,
Yeah.
you're not willing to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And maybe one day you won't have the ability to stand up for yourself, and you'll be expecting us to do it
Yeah.
for you.
What's that saying? There go I by the grace of God.
That's right. Yeah.
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 Nicely said. Nicely said,
Yeah.
Joseph. Yeah.
Well, we've actually come
And
to the end of the show, Brent, and this is a great show. I'm so happy you were
yeah.
both able to come on. It was
Look at
great.
that.
Yeah.
We
Loved
we
it.
finished the show without my blood pressure at 200.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Well, there's still time, Joseph. There's still time.
Yeah.
and a little bit of a Christmas memory, just for me to end the show.
Sure.
So growing up, I grew up with my mom and my dad. They were actually my adopted mom and dad, but
Hmm.
I was you always still called her mom and dad because that's just who I knew who they were. And then I found out when I was 12 years old that I was adopted. My mom wanted to wait till I was mature enough to understand that like, I'm not really your biological mother. I'm
Hmm.
like, well, what do you mean? And so it was kind of a shock to me in a way, but not fully. Like I kind of understood like, so who? I said that's my aunt, right? My aunt and my grandma. Yeah, that's your real grandma,
Hmm.
and that's actually your biological mother. Oh, okay. And this lady kept calling me all the time. So these are going like Christmas memories because they
Hmm.
would come by every like
Mhm.
a lot of Christmases, like when I was a little child. And I'd answer the phone. I go, "Hello, Brent speaking. Can I help you?" I still remember that, and I was like, so just so in tune with, answering the phone professionally, even when I was a kid. Yeah, it was kind of funny. My mom kind of got a kick out of it, and then hi, and I was hi, it's Auntie. How are you? And I just how she worded it is like you could tell that she really didn't want to say I'm your actual biological mother, and I'd listen to her voice, and I'm like, wow, wow, that's interesting. Okay, well. So anyway, Christmas memories is like, she would come over and spend time. My mom would have her over for dinner. My grandma, she'd come over. My grandma would talk to me about the World War II because she was actually, she actually helped out in the World War II, and the memories going back on that. And my biological mother was a member of the Legion, so
okay.
yeah, I could have got a membership card for that, but I couldn't. I just didn't. I just couldn't be bothered. Like, it made me sound kind of like, well, why couldn't be bothered? Well, I mean, I was just a young adult by the time that I was told I could get that, and just never got around to it. And it wasn't my thing. But anyway, just the memories of looking back at it, and then my father had left. My mom had told him to hit the road, and so my mom brought up my brother and I, and the Christmas memories I've just cherished every moment because like family, like they would still come by. I'd have relatives coming by too, cousins and stuff, and neighbors. We'd have gatherings and neighborhood gatherings, and come over for some peach pie or apple pie. Come over to our neighbors, and we'd all kind of have like potluck. They'd bring stuff over, and my mom would make stuff. My mom loved to bake, and she was so creative, and just amazing lady. But bringing me up of just being responsible and just not not expecting things. Like if you got something, that was a bonus for you, right? And just cherish the memories she always taught me. And one thing that I always want to, same as yourself, Patrick, I did a paper route and I saved up money and because I really wanted this one bike, and I just couldn't get enough money for it at first. So my mom says, well, how bad do you want that bike? And my mom scraped and saved as much as she could, and a lot of jobs. And so she talked to my neighbor, and he was a welder, and he knew how badly I guess I wanted this bike. And I got home one day, and it was all this wrapping paper over this big giant object. I opened it up, and for Christmas, and it was a bike.
Wow. Oh, wow.
It was a brand new bike, and so all the money I saved.
Yeah.
I looked and I wanted a, like Joseph, like you mentioned, and I got a little computer. Well, I got a little computer, but one of my neighbors actually knew, I guess, a friend of theirs worked at a computer shop, and said, okay, trade it in, and they got me another computer. And I had to work hard at my paper route, and they said, well, I'm going to keep this computer at the shop until you pay it.
Remember layaway?
So I had
layaway, yeah.
So
Layaway,
you get it. So I got this little computer, and then I got one from school because they got a like an award. So I had two little computers. One that I actually had saved up for, and then I had another one for the computer for school. But it was one of those color ones. It was one of the flipped floppy drive and a hard disk drive ones.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was so neat.
Actually, I'm glad you brought up computers. That's something I just want to mention for anybody in Ontario who has low vision like me. There's actually a program through Low Vision Rehab that can give you access to a new computer. It's called Assistive Devices Program, and like it's a $1,200 computer I got. Basically, you had to pay the tax. Yeah,
that's what I did. I got one, and it was first they said, well, you'd have to use it at school. And then they said, you know what, you can actually have it at home, Brent. I'm like, oh, wow. And it was so neat. And I used it, and I used to play these little Atari. I had this little switcher, and somehow I didn't know how it worked, but this computer shop said, yeah, so we got this little attachment, and you can actually play Atari games on the computer.
Remember when you could pirate all the software and nobody cared?
Yep. Yeah,
I had so much pirated software. Yeah,
I had a Commodore 64 with like thousands of discs that were all pirated.
I was the same. Yeah.
No, how technology's changed, and I had a BBS when way before internet came, and that was so neat. And I mean, it was just so amazing how technology has changed, but just memories, like looking back at Christmas memories and things that I was taught back then. And my mom would get so frustrated with me because your computer's making all these weird stuff. It was and it was like starting up and then restarting and shutting down. And
Well, you were talking about the bulletin boards, Joseph, and I actually remember
Oh,
back in the
fancy
day as
character
well. Like,
pictures.
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm a bit older than you, and I remember I actually I bought a big catalog of just bulletin boards, and I would do the same thing. I would like every night I would like randomly just start dialing different bulletin boards, and
yeah,
it was just I found it so
I ran
fascinating.
up a
Yeah.
$200 long distance bill on my parents once because I was calling into a Toronto BBS from
Yeah,
Hamilton. It
no,
was
Yeah.
great.
I
And
loved it.
I
Yeah,
it
I
took me a
remember
long time
this.
to pay that off.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember this game, Trade Wars. Do you
yeah,
remember that one? I love
yeah.
that game. It
I
was a
do remember that
BBS
one.
game.
I do
Lord of
remember.
the Red, Lord Legend of the Red
I
Dragon.
always got blown up by the Federation because I was always a bad pirate.
Well, mine, I had it set up with this one guy. I got to know because he had a bulletin board too, and so we kind of connected on there. And it was like I was sending like little data packets. They call them data packets of
Hmm.
news, like
Yeah.
news feeds. And so I would
Mhm.
connect onto this and that and a whole bunch of different ones, and I could just pick whatever topic I wanted. My mom loved her soap operas, so I said to
Hmm.
her, "Oh, okay." So I would click on this one, it would download the packets, and then it would send me like a little video, like a clip of an audio. My mom's like, "Oh, that is neat. How do you do that?" I go, "I don't know. I'm still learning this stuff." And the guy was so helpful.
Hmm.
He did graphic designs, so he would change the graphic design for on my BBS. I would go
Mhm.
to work. I would come home and I'd have a whole brand new graphic design on my computer when I came in. Like, huh? It would restart it, and he was just amazing on how he did all this stuff. But
Wow.
yeah, like it was. But then he had a little comment, like a little note. I guess a section where you could put a little note. He says, "Brent, you may want to go and upgrade your computer because I think my sensor tells me that your computer was kind of overheating a bit." And I came in and it was hot. I'm like,
Oh
Huh.
"Oh no!"
wow.
And he overcooked the motherboard. It was really cooking
The
hot.
first
Hmm.
virus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, that's kind of looking back at memories. But um, looking under the tree and seeing a present.
Hmm.
But it's just having, like in a stocking.
Yeah.
But it was more just having family around at the time
Yeah.
and just enjoying that quality time and um, just
That's
never
what you do
thinking.
remember the most
Yeah,
is getting together with family,
yeah,
Yeah.
all standing around like the piano and singing
Yeah.
carols. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
that was a big thing.
Lots of Beatles songs.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, exactly. And
yeah.
just enjoying that quality time and I want everybody in the PWD Allies, and the community across Canada and around the world know that, like Joseph and Patrick and Neil have mentioned, and just that quality time and just enjoying the people around you, knowing
Hmm.
that if you are by yourself, just know that I'm here. I mean, I'm on social media. Like
Yeah.
I check my direct messages as I can. I don't check them all the time. I Some people say, "Well, I sent you a message and you haven't responded." Well,
Yeah.
I don't check every day, but I
Yeah.
check as much as I can. Um, just reach out if you feeling down and out and you just want to say hi, and I mean that's fine. Just know
And
that.
again, this will be the last show officially before the new year. So
Yeah,
this is kind of our send off before the new year. So that's why this show is special. I'm so glad to get both Joseph and Patrick on
Yeah. Thanks for having
as
me.
a send off for the year, basically.
hmm
But we will be around. Like you and I are around. So if anybody
yeah,
wants to reach out before the new
for
year,
sure.
they can do that. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, for
Just
sure.
remember, just remember, this holiday season, no matter what you do, always reach out to your family members that
Right.
may have a disability.
Hmm.
Whether it's just a phone call, a visit, it doesn't need to be on Christmas Day or on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Make sure that your family and your friends know that you are supported and loved.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That will be the biggest Christmas gift that you can
Oh
give
yeah.
anybody this year
Yeah.
For
is
sure.
that you make sure that they know that they
Mhm.
are cared, loved, and thought of. Because this society today,
Mm.
people with disabilities are drawn to MAID a lot harder
Mhm.
than before,
Yeah.
ever before. And
Yeah.
so we need to make sure that we stand up for our family members and our friends and
Mhm.
let them know that even if we can't financially support them, we're
Mhm.
going to do it emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hope that everybody out there can create a Christmas memory with somebody for somebody this year.
Yeah, for sure. 100%,
Nice.
Joseph. Yeah. Yeah.
On behalf of PWD Allies podcast, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas, season's greetings, and all the best. And we will reconvene in 2026, early 2026. So
Feels weird to even say that, doesn't it?
I know.
Yeah.
That's okay. At least this podcast will be back before the politicians are sitting down.
Yes. Apparently, I guess Ontario they extended it all the way until March, end of March or something of next year.
Yeah.
Dougie wanted to take some extra breather. I don't know, and yeah, and
Got to visit his developer friends.
yeah, and in the Parliament though, in Ontario, there's I guess January 26th, from what I hear. So that's a good thing. BC, they're not back until February. So
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot going on in BC. So I won't even go there.
A lot going
I mean,
on.
it's Ontario. They have to have the ground thawed before their fucking skeletons get buried.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Thank you very much for Joseph and Patrick.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you both. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to do a show where I didn't go on a 15-minute rant and a 200 blood pressure. That's always nice.
That's all. Yeah, we always look forward to the next show and in the new year.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me today, and thank you everyone for tuning in to PWD Allies podcast. Like I said earlier, all the best, season's greetings, Merry Christmas,
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy
And don't
Live long and
forget to hit
prosper.
that join button below.
Hit the join,
join button, yes.
and also there's the little dollar sign for the super likes.
Yeah.
We
And
like
what
those
do you-
too.
Yeah,
What are you up to now?
And
Like,
support
subscribe, like,
Patrick's
share.
and support Patrick's channel as well. You've got the dollar sign as well, don't you,
Yes.
Patrick? Yeah.
I don't. I'm totally free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only at 500 subscribers, so
Okay. Well, you'll
you
get
know.
there. You'll get there.
You'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking forward to having both of you on in the near new year. Yeah, happy new year to everybody also. I mean, even though we're still in 2025, but
Yeah.
let's get this year done with. It's been an interesting year, but I'm looking forward to 2026. Just remember, just reach out to family, friends, people around you. Know that people do care emotionally. Yeah, we will be there in spirit if if we're not there physically. I mean, if I could reach through the screen right now, but I can't. Maybe in the future they can. Maybe technology. I don't know.
We'll
But,
all have AI buddies.
wouldn't that be something, eh? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
give a virtual hug or a
Yeah.
virtual
There
punch
you
in
go,
the face.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. And
Okay.
in the
Bye,
new-
everyone.